I just can't give it up. Yeah. More snow, more snow, more snow. Altima, sitting fresh, a little filthy, man. This winter weather, just when I think I can clean my car, it just keeps snowing. What can you do? Alrighty, yes sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally, and today we are going to be throwing some wheel spacers on the G35. Now I ended up buying a cheap set of bolt-on wheel spacers off of eBay. Just do a little quick unboxing here. Hopefully you guys are in the shot. So these are them. They're supposedly forged. I don't know if you can read that. Forged S7, and then the bolts are stamped M10.9. So these are supposed to be solid grade. They are relatively light, and to be honest, the quality actually isn't that bad by the looks of it. Now the reason I ended up getting spacers is because, as you guys know, we do have the SE-R wheels on the G35, and the fitment is less than ideal. I don't know if you guys can see that if it's in the shot, especially on the front. Those wheels are super sunk in. Now originally my plan was to go with a 10mm spacer because the offset on these wheels, I believe a plus 45 on these. And for those of you guys who know, we were running the 350Z wheels for quite some time. The offset on these is a plus 35, so it's a 10mm difference. Now these spacers right here are actually 15mm. The reason I ended up going with the 15mm spacer is because a 10mm spacer would not allow me to bolt it on and have these little, I don't know, indents here for the bolts to actually sit flush so that the wheel can actually bolt on. And I wasn't into the idea of getting extended lugs. Now obviously extended lugs probably the better, safer way to go, but for me I decided to go with the 15mm simply because I didn't want to have to get extended studs and then hammer out my old studs and put the new ones in. I feel like there's a lot less room for error with a bolt-on spacer. So what I think I'm going to be doing for today is just jacking this side of the car up. We're going to go ahead, throw two spacers on both the front and back on this side. We're going to do again one more little before with the fitment there. As you can see, super ugly. Looking pretty gross there. So I'm going to go ahead, throw on these, see how they fit with the SE-R wheels. Now, these spacers here are pretty much the cheapest ones that I could find off of eBay. I think they're like 120 bucks for a set of 4. So I'm not expecting the most from these spacers, but I figured worst case scenario, let's say one of these studs snaps, I can at least hammer these 5 out. Then I can go ahead, buy the extended lugs, and at least I have a set of hub-centric spacers for relatively cheap. And these are hub-centered, as you can see. So that means that they're actually going to be putting more of the weight on the center hub as opposed to the nut. So I don't think we'll have a problem with these. But I'm going to go ahead, jack the car up, throw these on, and we'll see what they look like, man. Don't know if I'm going to be able to fit my jack under here. No, it doesn't look like. Ugh. Go ahead and use our little helper jack here. See if we can get that under there now. Beautiful. Make sure I go and loosen these lugs up before we get it in the air. Done that a couple times before. So I think what I'm probably going to do is keep these wheels on for both the street and the track, since they are forged and they are quite a bit lighter than the 350Z wheels. There we go. Pop these bad boys off. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with these wheels. I just right now have a set of all-season tires. But considering I ran a 13.9 on my 350Z wheels with an all-season tire, I figure we'll probably be good with these wheels as well this summer, since there is a lot of tread on them. These wheels here I'm actually going to be selling because there's not really enough sidewall for the track, and I don't know, this setup, kind of a lost cause. I don't really feel like those wheels helped me at all the last time that we went to the track. Now my biggest gripe with these Altima wheels is just the offset. I really like the way that they look. Just the offset is kind of the offset is kind of killing me. Now I'm not really into bolt-on spacers. For those of you guys who have been subscribed to the channel, know I'm especially not a fan of the bolt-on spacers, but I've seen a lot of people run them online. I know Whistling Diesel, I know he's got a big set of spacers on, well, more than one set of spacers on a lot of his trucks, and to be honest, I've never seen one of those spacers break, which I guess you could say kind of inspired me a little bit to go ahead and grab these spacers. So I figured we'd just go ahead, give them a shot here, see how they work. Undo these lug nuts right here. So I'm going to go ahead, slip these on here. And as you can see, there's just a little bit of movement this way, but as far as up and down goes, those are centered on there pretty nice. So now what I'll do, just go ahead, turn these bad boys on a few notches here. Now these here are 19s. My original lug nuts are actually, I think 21 maybe 20 mil. But nonetheless, shouldn't be too much of an issue here. I'm hoping these help that offset a little bit. See once we get these bolted on. So now the one thing about these spacers is that I'm actually going to have a second person to go in the car to press the brake in order to get these lug nuts tightened down properly, like to torque spec. But since I'm just going to be testing them out for today, I don't think we're going to worry about that. I just got to remember to torque them down when I put the other side on. But I'm going to have to tear apart this whole front end anyways, because the front coilovers, I think the top hats are getting a little worn out. So yeah, I'm going to take those off before springtime comes just to investigate, see if I can find out where the clunking's coming from. As you can see, we're on there. Just go ahead, put these on by hand, and then just hammer them on with the gun here. Now the one thing I'm hoping is that with 10 millimeter, the 10 millimeter offset difference between the SE-R wheels and the 350Z wheels, we didn't rub at all. So I'm hoping that 5 millimeters isn't going to cause us any problems. I think the front should be fine, but it's just the back that I'm a little bit worried about. But we're going to see here in a second. Easy. Ooh. And one thing that I'm noticing here is that our lug nuts actually, as you can see, it punched the hole out the back of the lug nut, since these things are in fact, yeah, it's doing it to all of them. Since there is actually a longer stud on here, I guess to kind of help with different size rims, I guess if the cup is a little bigger on certain wheels. So it is actually punching out this center on our lug nuts, but I'm not going to worry too much about it as long as I can still torque them down properly. And it doesn't cause me any problems here. I do have a whole bunch. I do actually have a ton of spare lug nuts because obviously I've parted out multiple Nissan and Infiniti vehicles. So if I have to, I'll just throw on a different set. But those are on there pretty good now. So we'll go ahead, do the back side. Easy. Always losing those. So now on these things, the weakest part is going to be these studs right here. Now it does say it's stamped M10.9. So from my understanding, that is one of the higher grade steels here. But I feel like if you're going to have any kind of problems, it's going to be with these studs right here. So I'm obviously going to be doing a couple of test runs with these. I'm not just going to bolt them up and then take the car straight to the track. I'm going to do a couple of back road runs, then a couple of highway runs, make sure that they are safe and that there's no wobbling, make sure that the hub-centric portion of these spacers is doing its job. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with the quality. They're nice and light. Now, I don't have a scale anywhere here at the house. I was thinking of going to buy one just because I've been shipping a lot of parts lately that I've been needing to calculate shipping with. And I was thinking of putting the spacers and this set of wheels on the scale and then weighing it compared to just the 350Z set of wheels, just to get an idea of exactly how much weight we're saving. Go ahead, throw this rear wheel on here. But until I get a scale here, I guess we're just gonna assume that these wheels are in fact lighter. Since they are forged, it says it right there. And these wheels are filthy, man. There's so much stuff that I wanted to do over the winter to the G35, but I just been so busy with work. And to be honest, it's been kind of cold and crappy out here, so I haven't really felt motivated to get out to the garage, really. But there is a lot of stuff that I need to get done before spring. I've really just been out in the garage doing a little bit of maintenance on the Altima. I needed to change one of the front struts. I had to do weld up an exhaust on the girlfriend's Civic. That is pretty much all that I've been doing this winter. And that's pretty much all I've been doing this winter. Just trying to keep myself busy. Pull out our little helper jack here and see how these things look with the spacers. Now they should be poking out 5 millimeters more than the 350Z wheels, and actually the front, because of the camber, is tipping in a little bit, but the back looking pretty well flush. Even it could be poking just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, jump on the side of the car just to level them out. And I don't hear any rubbing just from jumping on it. Now obviously the front's sitting a little bit lower than the rear just because I had it set up that way for drag racing. But as you can see, those spacers actually helping quite a bit. I actually wish I had gone with like a 20 in the front because we're still sunk in quite a bit, and we still have a lot of room here. Probably another 10 millimeter. Could have gone even with a 25 on the fronts, but compared to the passenger side, where if you look at it from here, well, you can't even see that wheel. I don't know if you guys can even see that as it is, but you can't even see that wheel when you start going off to the side, and the back's the same way. Just sunk in quite a bit. These have been pretty much what I had anticipated. I didn't want any kind of crazy poke. Just wanted them to sit a little bit more flush on the outside of the wheel. And that's actually what we got here. So nothing too aggressive for today. Just throwing the wheels on, doing a little bit of a test fit. Just going to reconnect a battery here. Because one thing I did want to do is get in the trunk and jump up and down. Just to make sure that we didn't have any rubbing along the back here. Now I think with hitting bumps, should actually camber in a little bit more at the top. And I don't think we'll have any problems. But I'm going to go ahead, just pop the trunk and give a couple of jumps just in case. Positive. Hopefully this battery's got enough juice to pop the trunk. It's been sitting outside all winter. Yes, we do. This car is so dusty. Been neglecting her. Pop open the trunk there and let's give a couple of jumps and see if we hear any rubbing. I thought I heard rubbing, but it was actually just my jacket rubbing against the trunk. Doesn't feel like we got any rubbing. Of course, when you get it out on the road and you start hitting some actual heavier dips, that's when you're really going to start to notice any kind of heavy rubbing. But overall, for the price that I paid, we've definitely achieved the look that I was looking for. Obviously, if you are getting spacers, I would recommend going with the hub-centric instead of the lug-centric because I just feel like they're quite a bit safer. And these are sitting really nice here. That front tire's got so much camber, which I was actually thinking of raising the car. But it is a race car, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's probably just about it for today's video. Something nice and quick, just some little spacer install. Now I do have a couple of plans for the G35 in the next couple of months, so definitely stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much it, man. So if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys want to see more and you're not subscribed yet, definitely do so. Yeah, these wheels look 10 times better. I was kind of a little worried about running this wheel setup the whole summer just because they were poking in quite a bit, and I feel like the stance boy aspect of it was just not quite there. But with these spacers, I'm pretty happy about this setup here. But like I say, that's pretty much it, man. So as always, I'm your boy D Nally, aka Don Squally, and with that being said, I think I've already said with that being said like 5 times, but I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and we're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace!